Welcome to Episode 9, First Look Gnomes.
So, Mr. Hodgkiss, just to give you a little, you're expecting me to burst out into song,
I
then,
was
weren't you?
absolutely expecting you to burst into song. I was trying to think of a song based around the number 9.
So, I have been messaging a fairly famous German singer.
Oh.
I think they're quite famous actually in Germany, but they're fairly famous over here.
Rammstein.
Rammstein? Oh, no. Not that famous,
Okay.
but fairly famous.
Okay.
So, fairly famous in Germany. A German band.
Oh.
And I asked them if they would do us an intro.
Okay.
And do you know what they said to me?
Go away.
9! Episode 9! Hey!
The hook, line, and sinker. I fell for that. Hook, line, and sinker. You Wally.
Episode 9, Craig.
I like that. That was very well. You know what? You caught me completely off guard there. That's a terrible joke, and it was absolutely executed to perfection. Bravo, sir. Bravo.
Cool. Yeah.
9.
9? Episode 9.
Episode 9. What a way to start.
Anyways, welcome to episode 9.
Hello, everybody.
How's your week, month been, Mr. Hodgkiss?
It's been okay. It's been very, very busy. It's just madness. The year is going stupidly quick. So in England, we're approaching a bank holiday weekend this weekend. So most of us have got 3-day weekends. But then you think, oh yeah, why are we having a bank holiday? It's May. And you're like, it's May. May's coming. So it's just a little bit.
Spring has sprung.
Yeah, not in Northern Ireland. It's still raining.
It was 4 degrees there.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I don't feel like I've seen blue sky for about 9 months.
For our foreign listeners, us Brits like to talk about the weather quite a lot.
We do indeed. And usually we just moan about it raining. But I'm okay. How are you? How are you doing? How's your week been?
I'll chuck in another little first look. Why not? But we talked about it on a previous podcast. But last weekend, I had my first look at the PlayStation VR.
Oh, very good.
I was only on it for a couple of races. I did the VR Gran Turismo.
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it?
And I was like, wow.
It's just the best.
I had the headphones as well as the mask.
Yeah.
And I think I spent most of the time just looking around, crashing into walls, looking at the front of the car. I can't remember what car it was. Now it was like Aston Martin or something, an old Aston Martin.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's so shiny.
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it? So you enjoyed it?
Yeah, really good. Really good.
Did you go in the VR showroom?
No, literally did a couple of races and that was it. But I plan to have a second look at some point soon if my friend allows me for a VR evening. It's good fun.
It's superb. So we have one of these kind of Sherlock chairs, which is like an armchair. So when I'm kind of geeking out and like, right, I'm going to have a gaming night tonight, I pull the chair into the middle of the room and get my little VR headset on, and you sit and you pretend you're sitting in the car. And you go racing around, Brands Hatch and all these tracks. And the VR, so again, for anyone listening who hasn't listened or heard about VR, we did do, I think it was one of our first looks, probably 2 or 3 episodes ago, PlayStation VR 2. There's other VR things that are available, but I was raving about how much fun it was. And Gran Turismo it's just class. It's literally like you're sitting... I mean, it does exactly what it does on the tin. It's like you're sitting in a racing car driving around a racetrack.
Yeah, it's really good. Have you got the steering wheel, or is it?
No, so you just use the controller like it's a steering wheel.
Yeah, that's what I did, yeah. But my friend of mine was like, I've not played PlayStation for ages, and he was like, press X, but obviously you can't actually see the controller in front of you. So I found that
and you can see your legs and stuff, but they're not your legs.
Yeah. So I'm really slim.
It's the best diet you can ever go on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm fit into a medium driving suit. When was the last time I fit into a medium aviator suit? Never.
Anyways, but that's that's just a cheeky little first look before we get started.
PSVR comes highly recommended.
So it's officially
Fish.
time for the ponder feedback.
Oh, I'm looking forward to going down to the bottom of the garden.
Where listeners let me know what they think. But to be honest, they haven't this week.
Oh no, listeners, come on now.
So listeners, please, leave us an email at firstlittleknomes@outlook.com or message us a voice note, maybe.
Oh, that would be very nice.
Message a voice note, and tune in next time to hear yourself on the Sophisticated podcast.
Could I make a request from our listeners?
You can't.
If you have any terrible jokes to send in, then our friend Mr. Williams here does enjoy a terrible joke.
I do.
And you will make his day. If you follow First Look Gnomes on Instagram, where do the followers, Williams?
It's First Look Gnomes.
First Look Gnomes on Instagram.
Just type in First Look Gnomes on Instagram and you'll find us.
You'll get a daily dose of Dan's humour. You'll get a daily dose of dad jokes.
A few shout outs actually for some Instagram followers that have been interacting with us. So shout outs to Drinking and Talking Animals.
Oh, wow.
Next podcast.
The Drinking and Talking Animals, what do they generally share?
I believe they drink and they talk about animals.
Oh, very good, very good. Is that a podcast you can listen to or something, or is it just a?
I believe it is. Yeah, so they'll shout out to them.
Whoop, whoop.
Gnomes and Robots.
Gnomes and Robots.
Names and Robots. She Took the Leap. We Are Laugh Nation. Miguel Sergio has liked quite a few of our posts.
Hello, Miguel Sergio.
And shout out to Gerard D. Klutkabuta.
Easy for you to say.
Apologies if I've murdered that pronunciation, especially my German accent. What do you think has been the most engaging content on Instagram, Mr. Hodgkiss?
Well, I do quite like the what if so and so was a gnome. So some of those have really tickled me.
Surprisingly, celebrities and gnome hats hasn't been that popular.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I did like the jokes. I do like the dad jokes, which they always make me laugh.
What do you think have been the most engaging jokes?
The most engaging jokes. Oh dear.
They've had about 3,000 views, shall we say?
I'm not quite sure.
Which means we need to create more content around it.
But I mean, 3,000 is quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So, the most engaging content.
The rubber duck one.
No, that's a fresh one today, viewers. If you want to check that one out. Go on, Craig. What was it?
Is it the Where'd you learn how to make ice cream?
No, I thought you were gonna. Shout
sorry.
out the joke.
Okay, I will. Spoiler alert! If you are waiting to go on Instagram, what do you call a duck that feels?
I don't know, Craig.
A rubber duck.
A rubber
duck. These are the kind of beauties you can get on Instagram, folks. Follow us from First Look Gnomes. What do you say to a lollipop when you throw it away? So long, sucker.
But even those zingers aren't the most engaging content.
I've got to read this one out because it is hilarious.
Okay,
Why did the biology teacher break up with the physics teacher? Because there was no chemistry.
Even that whopper wasn't the most engaging.
Okay, then put us out of our misery. What is
all the posts around the Backstreet Boys? People love the Backstreet Boys, so we need to do more content on the Backstreet Boys.
Okay, I love the Backstreet Boys.
So yeah, but I'm limited on my Backstreet Boys content. So
who doesn't love the Backstreet Boys? To be honest,
any suggestions? Let us know. Also, a shout out to Pods Like Us on Instagram. Because I put a joke on there about I said the doctor. I went to the doctors and the doctor said I had type A blood on an email to me, but it turned out to be a typo. But But
insert sound effect here.
but pods like us said, I'll try not to be negative about that joke.
You're having dad joke banter now.
Yeah.
You're spending your days on Instagram. New baby in one arm, dad joke thumb, typing away on the other. Having
full on dad joke. I'm embracing the dad jokes now.
And you're interacting with other people and bantering on dad jokes.
I feel like I stepped up the dad jokes in the last 3 months, to be honest.
Well, I mean, they are amusing. There's no doubt about it. They do make me chuckle.
But big news.
Oh, yes, big news.
We have now penetrated. I don't know if that's the most appropriate word, but we have now penetrated.
You should say that word these days, right? Well, penetrate. No, we have friends and family listening.
I think it depends on the context.
Well, yes.
And the fact you stopped me halfway through the sentence makes it sound better.
It's because I've got a dirty mind.
We have now penetrated the borders of 17 countries.
17 countries.
17 countries. We're listened to in 17 countries.
In terms of KPIs, it was our ambition. So when we set this podcast up...
Oh, our ambition is... How many countries in the world?
I think our ambition was literally make something for your fiance to listen to. Which we achieved that goal. Anything past that was a bonus. So 17 countries...
17 countries. I don't know how many countries are in the world. I think there's 300. No, 200. 250.
Oh,
250, I'm going to say.
That could be the cliffhanger. How many countries are there in the world?
Tune in next week. But yeah, I mean, outside of... So our most popular are USA, UK and Canada. But a new one up into the top in 4th place, most popular country of listeners, are in Australia.
Oh, hello down under.
Hello to all our Australian listeners. Also, hello to our new listeners. We've got most recent new listeners are in Dunstable in Bedfordshire.
Very nice. Hello, Dunstable.
Dover in Kent.
Oh, hello, Dover.
So recently, I had my first listen to a podcast I'm not listening to, hence first listen. So I first listened to the Moon Underwater. I don't know if you heard that one. So I listened to a podcast, The Moon Underwater, and I quite enjoyed the format. So I also listened to Off Menu. I don't know if you heard Off Menu before.
Nope.
No? Oh, well, maybe that would be our first look for the next podcast. We'll do Off Menu. But I first listened to The Moon Underwater, and I thought give them a little shout out. And I thought we'd basically steal their format for an episode. So The Moon Underwater, Mr. Hodgkiss, is basically a pub, the pub that you need in your time of need. You're Saturday, like you really need to go to a pub, and the Moon Underwater basically appears around the corner or in your lounge or wherever you are, and it's your dream pub. So following on from our previous conversations, I thought we'd visit the Moon Underwater. Well, sorry, more so, would visit my pub, because I've gone through and created my dream pub, and I'll ask you. So basically, at the Moon Underwater, or my pub is called the Lamb and Flag. I'm going to welcome you, Mr. Hodgkiss, to the Lamb and Flag, where you can create your dream pub, and you can take your dream pub with you, and wherever you need that moment in your mind to go to your dream pub, you can go there. Come in, Mr. Hodgkiss. Come into the Lamb and Flag. It's a stormy, rainy night outside. Stormy, rainy night. The waves are splashing up against the coast. In the cove or the cliff edge is a stone-walled built pub with a big old pub sign hanging outside. The Lamb and Flag. Ooh. Come on in, Mr. Hodgkiss.
It sounds inviting.
You come in, the fireplace is crackling, so a big old fireplace is crackling. There's a handful of people in there. You've got Joe, the local, in the corner, big beard.
Oh, I love
in
Joe.
The corner, doing his crossword puzzle. Mm-hmm. A sleeping doggo by the fireplace.
Nice.
Probably not our chocolate Labrador, because he'll just jump at every single person that comes in.
A calm pub dog.
The sort of pub, you've got some low hanging beams, you've got some some old tankards
Oh yeah,
hanging over the bar.
it sounds delightful.
You've got a collection of beer mats on the wall.
Brilliant.
So it's fairly quiet, but also there's enough people there to give it a bit of a buzz.
Yeah.
And you've got some old blokes in the corner that are actually sea shanty singers, and they're having a little sing song in the corner.
Lovely.
They've had a few, not too many beers, but they've had a few beers. They're singing in the corner. A little bit like the old trip to Jerusalem in Nottingham, but built into like a cliff edge by the coast. That sort of vibe. And it's going to have like it's got a little outside area barbecue to do some burgers, like your cheap burger baps.
The best
you had a couple
kind.
of beers. Yeah, so nothing fancy. Behind the bar as well is an old school TV, the ones that have got the huge backside, none of this flat screen business. A proper backside.
Big telly.
Yeah, one of those in the corner. Sound off though. Sounds
Of course,
off.
no one wants to sound on the TV, do they?
And it's playing, Shearer's top 100 goals. Maybe a bit of darts or something, a bit of golf. That's just in the background type thing. It does some nice Sunday carvery. Little Sunday carvery.
Does it have cobs on the bar? Like, can you get a cheese and onion cob?
No, you can't.
No,
Sorry, not at the
not the lamb.
No, not on the lamb flag. No, but it's got on the behind the bar. You've got those tubs of sort of Bombay mix, pork scratchings, chili bites. Those jars that have been there since the 90s. With the same stuff in there. They've not been open for ages. Wasabi peas. Yeah, got all those. What else we got? We've got a quizzy. Got a quizzy in the corner. Who wants to be a millionaire? One of those sort of games. And behind the bar, we've got a big old buxom barmaid behind the bar.
Of course, you've got a buxom barmaid. Christina Hendricks style.
Well, yeah. In terms of buxom size, probably yes. But
more Cornish.
They've got Cornish buxom maid behind the bar.
The usual.
Yeah, they've got to have on their CV. They've had German Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
9. Oktoberfest some experience. Arm wrestling champion, so they're the type that they're friendly, but they can carry quite a few big old jugs of beer.
She likes having a joke, but don't take the piss because she'll knock you out, kind of woman.
Yeah, exactly. She'll keep the place under control, and if you do stare at a place you shouldn't be staring at, she will
slap you around the face.
Slap you around the face. But yeah, so welcome to the Lamb and Flag, Mr. Hodgkins.
Hang on, I just got slapped around the face. Sorry.
But yeah, welcome to the Lamb Flag. I'm the landlord. Let me just wipe the bar for you, Mr. Hodgkins.
You painted a wonderful picture there.
Yeah, so this is the pub where you can design your own pub. It is limited though by the Dream Brewery, so there are some limitations.
Okay.
But pull up a stool or what do you do? You like to lean at the bar? Do you like to a bar stool? Do you like a comfy seat? What would you like?
See, I like working in a bar. You see,
okay, right.
One of my most favourite memories and favourite jobs was actually working in the bar. So if I am frequenting the pub, I'd probably be leaning towards going to the darts board. I'd probably want some snacks. I'd have to go and say hello to the dog. Yeah, I love a pub dog. So I'd be inappropriately just going and being over familiar with whoever owns the dog, saying, "Oh, I know the dog," and play with the dog. Then I would order a pint of. I'd find the most randomest.
Yeah, what can I get you, Craig?
I like a pint. I'm going to a pub. I want a pint, and I want something I've not tried before, and I want something local. So what is made around here. So
Well, at the Lamb and Flags, that'll bring me on to my first question to you. So. At the Dream Brewery, you're only allowed 2 draft pipes.
Okay.
So two things on draft. Yeah. So at the Lamb and Flag, I have on one tap I have a Menadou. Mm-hmm. So Menadou is a stout from St Ulster Brewery.
Is it better than Guinness?
Like a Guinness, but better. It's a Cornish Guinness, basically.
Nice.
So we've got a nice Melody on tap. And also we've got Kimberley Mild.
Kimberley Mild.
So we've got some Kimberley Mild on tap. So if you like, would you like one of those?
Kimberley Mild, please, all day long.
Okay, so one second. Let me just pull your Kimberley Mild. Sorry, you were saying. Sorry.
I was just saying I'm going to go and probably have a little go on the darts board, but you know I'm also quite happy for short staff to kind of come behind the bar, and you know, I especially as Sally's away. You know, I am a buxom, curvaceous.
Yes.
German arm wrestler.
You're obviously here today to design your dream pub.
Oh, sorry, to design my dream pub. I beg your pardon.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, you're in my dream pub
yes.
at the moment. And I've just served you. There you go. So there's your pint of Kimberley Mild. So what would be your 2 draft items?
So I would have Banks's Mild, without a shadow of a doubt.
I do like a Banks's smell.
And I would also go for a so I can have anything I want.
Anything you want, that you can get on tap.
So I would go for a Granville Lions Winter Ale.
Okay.
So Granville Island is a place in Vancouver, and they have a brewery there. And at Christmas they do a Lions Winter Ale, and it's just delicious. There's also another one called Whistler Chestnut Ale. Whistler Chestnut Trail Ale, it's called. Another one of my favourites. But if I can only have 2, I'd go for the Winter Lions Ale, and just because it's Banks's Mild. So Wolverhampton, the Banks's Brewery, the Banks's Mild. When we started drinking back in the day, there was a local pub, and it was £1.27 a pint. And because it's weak, you could have 6 or 7 of them if my math is correct. For under a tenner, feel like you're a big lad because you've drank 6 pints, but you know it's only 3.4%, so you're not really very drunk. But it was a nice social drink. I think all these like 5.5%, 6%ers, like you get drunk too quickly on them. Like if I'm going to the pub, I want to be there. So again, I want a pub that has a raucous atmosphere by 8 o'clock. And I don't want to be kicked out at 11. I want to be kicked. 12 o'clock is fine. So I want a good 4-hour session. If I'm going to be there for 4 hours, I'm not drinking 5.5% beer, because by the time it gets to 10:30, I'd have had 3 or 4 pints, and I'd be pissed as a fart, or starting to get really pissed. And then when you get to like 5 and 6, you're at the territory where.
What time's it now, Craig?
Well, but you know what I mean, though. By the time you get to like pint number 5. The 5% stuff, you're really starting to feel like, oh dear, maybe I shouldn't be drinking much. Whereas if you're on the 3.5% stuff, you've still got plenty of gas in the tank.
Someone gave a good quote. I can't remember who it was, but they said the problem with alcohol is it doesn't quite work. So basically, it's you're always trying to get that feeling that you can't quite get.
Yes,
if you know what I mean.
Well, this is where Banks's Mild plays a beauty. You see, I think too many people. They reject the weaker beer in favour of the strong stuff. Got to get pissed as quick as I can. And the happy spot with drunkenness, I find, is that little bit of tipsiness, and you never stray into too far. You just stay in that happy zone. 5.5% stuff, 5% stuff. It takes you too far. Stay at the 4%, 3.8%. Even the 3.4s, and keep happy. You will enjoy the evening more.
You will. So also at your pub,
yes,
you can have 2 different types of cans or bottles. So anything commercially available in a pub or a restaurant. So bottles or cans.
Yeah.
So I would have a Wayne Gretzky 99 Pinot Grigio that the fiance and I had in Canada. Lovely wine. We got in me at Hot Springs. We got snowed in, and we just got piddled on this Pinot Grigio from the Wayne Gretzky, famous Canadian.
Yes.
He's got his own winery. Is that what we call it? A winery?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, a place that sells wine. That makes wine. And then also randomly, is and I don't even know the name of it, but it's and it doesn't have to always be alcohol. But at the Lamb Flag, we have this bottled water from, I think it's called Axbridge, near Cheddar Gorge, and I don't know what it was, but it was the best water I've ever drunk. I don't know if I was dehydrated that day or what, but this bottled water that we had in a place near Cheddar Gorge, a place we're staying, was the best water. So we got that bottled water in stock as well.
Very good. You see that
at the Lamb Flag.
That's nice to give people an option as well for the non-drinkers there.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't be as kind.
But it's really good water. I don't know how to describe it, but I suppose the only way you can describe it is when try to remember a time when you've been so thirsty, like really thirsty, or really hungover, and it's like that water is just quenched your being.
Yeah, see, in that case, replace water with KFC. I'm hungover. My body is craving something. Yeah, you probably need some water. No, don't.
So what bottles? Would you have a bottle of KFC gravy, maybe?
No. See, my pub is not a pub for people who don't want to booze. Boozing. I like the booze. Like to drink. So for me,
would you have a wine, or would you?
I'd have a bottle of gin though.
Bottle of gin?
Yeah, so I'd probably go. So when it comes to spirits,
any particular brand?
There's a couple that I like. It would be tough to pick a favourite of the gins. I'll give an honourable mention to a Jim Beam maple syrup, which is quite hard to get in this country. Right. The Jim Beam maple syrup with a bit of Coke. It's very sweet, but it's a lovely bit of drink. I've always had a soft spot for Southern Comfort.
The problem there, if you obviously that was just an honourable mention, but that would be you need a bottle of Coke and a bottle of Jim Beam.
Oh, okay. Well, so I'll give another honourable mention to cans. Because they had 2 bottles or 2 cans, or a bottle and a can.
Yeah.
So I'll give an honourable mention to cans of Pilsner Urquell, which I think is a great Pilsner beer.
But these aren't your actual picks,
I don't think so, no.
No?
I think I'll give an honourable mention to the Jim Beam, honourable mention to Southern Comfort. If I had to pick, I'd probably go for bottles of Just Tonic. Like, I don't like this slimline tonic. I don't like all this other crap. I'd go for... Oh, you know what? Actually, no. I'd also go potentially a bottle of bitter lemon.
Well, I might be able to tap you out on the next bit.
Okay, I'm going to go gin and tonic. I think gin and tonic is a cracking gin.
A bottle of gin and a bottle of tonic.
So I'm going to go for just Schweppes tonic. I don't all this fever-tree nonsense. I'm going to just go bog standard, full fat Schweppes, ice, slice of lemon, and for the gin.
So in your pub, you would have to buy a bottle of tonic and a bottle of gin.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. This is a happy place.
I mean, you can pour the gin into a glass and just, you don't have to...
You're ordering by the bottle, but yeah.
Is there an option to spirits later on? Or?
There is, yeah.
Okay, I'll leave.
So you could have a gin and tonic.
So I didn't know the rules, Williams. I didn't know the rules.
Right, sorry.
Okay, so we'll park the gin and tonic. That's coming later down the line. So in that case, I will go for...
Yeah, so bottles like your wines or whatever
I'm
else.
I'm not really into wines. You know what I'm going to go for? I'm going to go for a bottle of Blue WKD.
Yeah.
And a bottle of Ruby Port, so that people can get smashed on cheeky Vimtos, which is a thing I like to drink at Christmas.
A bottle of Ruby Port.
Bottle of Ruby Port. Oh, which is also... I suggest they buy 1 bottle of Ruby Port for 20 bottles of Blue WKD. So mix them together, have some cheeky Vimtos. It's a celebratory pub. No one's judging you here. We're not drink snobs.
So someone's getting a bottle of Ruby Port
and 20 blue bottles. 20 blue bottles of WKD. Mix it all together in a big jug. Have a good time. Party Central. Enjoy yourself. They're called, so for our foreign listeners, Blue WKD is this, it's like a lemonade-y, blueberry... It's a drink that is blue in colour. I mean, it's
the nearest thing...
It's made in Northern Ireland. But you didn't know.
It'd be like alcoholic... No, I didn't actually. alcoholic Mountain Dew, maybe.
Yeah, a bit like alcoholic Mountain Dew, and it's like
the blue flavour one.
it's a beautiful blue colour, completely fake looking, but also one of these ones where it says no artificial colours added. So like, how did you get it to look like that? But probably like a blue raspberry aid, and then obviously a ruby port is it's lovely on its own, just on a bit of ice. But you get a double shot of ruby port, you mix it with the blue WKD stuff. It tastes like a pop that we have over here, or a soda called Vimto, which is like a grape and blueberry fizzy drink. And it's just it just reminds me of being 18, maybe 17, funnily enough, the Moon Underwater in Wolverhampton, drinking these jugs of cheeky Vimto and just having an absolute blast with my pals. So, yeah, there we go. Ruby Port, Blue WKD.
And next up, at your dream pub, so you can have sort of 2 spirits, mixers, cocktails on the menu, whatever you like of that sort of ilk. So at the Lamb and Flag, we can offer you old fashioned.
Lovely,
so
very
do old
classy.
fashions. The particular one, our friend Panda, he introduced me to old fashions, and I can't remember which one. We had so many on our honeymoon tour of Australia and Hong Kong, but it'd be the old fashioned from
somewhere in the east
on that trip. I can't remember where it was. Yeah, and then also I do like my rum. But I couldn't really narrow it down what rum to have, so I've gone for a rum that I don't really like. But I've gone for some sort of navy rum in honor of my pops. I used to like a navy rum. The sort of rum that's ridiculous, 80%, 90% alcohol, whatever it is. Then it blows your socks off, makes you make a Cornish pirate sound. You have a little sip. You go,
what do you say when you have a sip?
That sort of navy rum. So yeah, so you got you can have some navy rum, or we do old fashions at the Lamb and Flag. So what would you have?
I suppose is this where I have the gin? Yeah, I go for the gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic,
and then I'm going to go for. So again,
what sort of gin tonic?
There's a distillery in Northern Ireland called Hinch Distillery, and they do a gin. It's the bottle it comes in is beautiful. So we tried a lot of gins. My sister Jem, she often buys us a thing called sibling gin, which is cracking. They do a Sicilian lemon. She got us a bottle of, which is really nice. Down by us, there's a brewery called the Titanic Brewery. They do a gin, which is really nice. But I always struggle to. There's a gin bar that my wife and I frequent called Muriel's, where they have knickers and bras on the hang up from the ceiling. It's quite fun, and they've got all gins from around the world. There's a Mahon gin. It's called Zoriga, which you can get in Spain. It's cheap. It's like €10 a bottle.
What's it called?
Zoriga, XORIGUER. It's from Mahon. Yeah. It's from Minorca. So the brewery there, and this gin distillery in Minorca, where they make this Zoriga gin, and they do that with like Fanta lemon. It's just delicious.
So you go for that?
No. You see, there's all these different ones that I like.
Mention. But actually, an honourable mention that almost made it to the Lamb and Flag is had it with you and your lovely wife in Belfast. It was a jawbox.
Jawbox and honeycomb. Yes, the local delicacy.
That's nice. Yeah.
It is not. I'm not a massive fan of the jawbox gin. If I'm honest, I think it's a bit overrated. They got a cracking brand. They've done well for themselves, but Hinch shits all over it, in my opinion. Not that I mean, if somebody from Jawbox wants to send me some gin, convince me otherwise, then please do.
Yeah, please send through to what's it name's Outlook.com.
But Hinch Distillery, I think in Northern Ireland, there's Copeland as well, which is in Donegal in Northern Ireland. They do a.
So you're having a Hinch? So is it a Hinch gin? And
this is the thing. I think I'm going to play it safe. It is, because you know what? This is controversial, but I think Bombay Sapphire is still my go-to gin out of all of them. All these fancy gins. I struggle to find something that I enjoy more than a Bombay Sapphire. Now, Hinch comes very, very close. Siblings,
Any particular tonic?
just bog standard tonic.
Standard.
So I don't.
Like a Tesco.
None of this. I don't.
Value tonic.
No,
or...
no, just Schweppes, just the old school
Yeah.
Schweppes tonic. So, Fever Tree, fine, it's nice, but it's overpriced. I don't really want to go for the 56 bottle P of 56p bottle of Tesco one. Just Schweppes. But you know, like you got all these flavors like Pink Rose and burnt orange clementines, and I'm like, no, I don't.
No.
I can take a bitter lemon and gin. I like a bitter lemon and gin, and I like a tonic and gin. But all the, you know, these are like what was it? Bloody elderflower tonic. And elderflower tonic. I'm like, no. Take your elderflower tonic and shove it. Just give me gin and tonic. Simple.
Ice and slice?
Yes, ice and a slice.
Ice and slice of what?
Just lemon.
Slice lemon.
Yeah.
Lovely. And what's
keep it
your
classy.
what's your second drink? You get two drinks. You get two mixes, two spirits. Or, you got your Bombay Sapphire gin and Schweppes tonic with a bit of ice and lemon.
And then we're gonna go for.
You got another drink on the menu. What you got?
So I did say I like the Jim Beam and the maple syrup. The Jim Beam maple syrup flavour. Oh, I don't know. There's so many like.
That didn't make it to the bar in the end, did it? It didn't make it to your.
I don't think it does now because I don't think many people like it. I think they find it too sickly. So
you're catering not just for yourself, but you're catering for the masses.
well, I'm thinking about the wife.
Guests,
so she likes. So you can get like Parma Violet cocktails.
Right.
So again,
Like the sweets.
like the sweets. So it's like Parma Violet flavoured syrup, and you mix it like Parma Violet martinis. Now I don't know all the ingredients for them, so I might be stretching the boundary of this. But I think you've got to go for some kind of a cocktail, haven't you? Or is that another thing that's coming? Cocktails.
No, you can have a
All right,
cocktail.
I'm going to add a cocktail then, just for the ladies.
What sort of cocktail?
I'm thinking something a little bit rogue. I think whenever we discovered this Parma Violet cocktail, it was one of those moments was like, there's Parma Violets in a cocktail. Yeah, there is. I'm having one of those. So I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, okay.
Parma Violet
Lovely.
cocktail.
Parma Violet cocktail. Excellent. So what we also have at our pub, the Lama Flag, is a pub quiz.
Oh yes, now you're talking.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So we're just going to do a quick mini quiz, 3 questions. Write your answers down or log it in your head, and we'll for the listeners at home,
Play along.
yeah, write down, play along, and we'll give the answers. So question number 1:
Question number 1.
what is the leading beer brand by sales in the United Kingdom?
Oh,
And that's as of 2022. Question number 22.
22.
Sorry, 2. Add a beer. What is again, by sales, the most loved British vodka?
Okay.
Most loved British vodka.
Is it like made in Britain or just vodka we drink?
What we drink.
Okay.
What? And question number 3. Again in Britain, by sales, the most popular gin brand.
Okay. So
Okay.
if I was to work backwards, I'd say it's got to be Bombay Sapphire for the gin.
So, question number 3, if you want to work backwards. The most popular gin brand in Britain
Gordon's?
is Gordon's.
Yeah, Gordon's, of course it is.
Yes, Gordon's.
Then the vodka, and there's only really to it. There's only really Smirnoff or Absolute. It's got to be Smirnoff.
The vodka was Smirnoff.
Yeah. And then,
Smirnoff.
and then the beer. Now, this one's a tricky one.
The beer.
So-
The leading beer brand. This is by sales. So not necessarily most popular by taste, it's by sales.
It's got to be. It's got to be. You would imagine in Britain, Carling or Carlsberg.
I'll give you a clue. Well, it's not really much of a clue, but it generated approximately £246 million last year.
Yeah. Okay. So Carling, Carlsberg, Stella.
Stella.
It is Stella.
Stella Artois was the leading brand.
Okay. See, Stella's one of those
There you
beers as well. It's got a bad reputation, but I think drinking Stella is one of those beers that when I drink it, I don't get violent. There's no wife beater. I just think it's a great effect, Stella. I love drinking Stella.
Yeah, no, I do. I like a Stella. I like a
Have you
Stella.
tried the Stella Unfiltered, the new one?
No,
Oh,
I don't think
it's
so.
not as nice as normal Stella.
No, but there's a little short. A little bonus question.
Question.
For a packet of Maltesers.
Pork scratchings.
Most popular cider by sales in
Oh,
Britain.
Strongbow.
Correct. Well done. You want a packet of Maltesers.
Yay! I wanted pork scratchings.
So also in our pub.
I was still okay.
I told you it was a long one.
You
didn't
did indeed, yeah.
So in our pub and at your pub, Miss Hodgkiss, you have a jukebox.
Oh yeah.
All right. But it only has one album on loop.
One album. Oh.
What album would you have? No, I couldn't quite figure out what I wanted for the Damn Flag. But I went with, I had a quick Google what was around the time, but I went for Now 45. That's released in the year 2000.
That's a very fence-sitting answer. A
Which
compilation
was,
album
a compilation album.
featuring such hits as in the year 2000. There would have possibly been some Backstreet Boys, some Britney Spears,
Yeah, probably was. Let me have a
Christina
quick look.
Aguilera,
So Now 45.
Destiny's Child.
So it was the one in the year 2000. So you got Gabrielle Rise, Melanie C, Never Be the Same Again,
Good song.
Craig David, Fill Me In, Backstreet Boys,
There we go.
Show Me the Meaning of Being Lonely. There we go. And loads of other great hits. Shania Twain, Man, I Feel Like a Woman. Basement Jacks, Bingo Bango. Blink 182, All the Small Things. So
In the year 2000? I
yeah.
thought that was 1999.
Well,
I'm
on this
wrong.
compilation. Yeah, on this compilation album.
Fair play.
But there you go. So Tocca's Miracle.
Oh, what a song. I think you've copped out though, Williams.
So, but in my pub, it's at a low level, so it's quiet background music, and you hear it now and again. Oh yeah, that tune. But so what would you have at your pub?
Oh, you see again. This is my pub, so I get to choose. My people-pleasing nature is like, okay, if you're gonna go for something that for the masses, because there's no point me sitting there behind the bar going, oh, this is a great song, and then everyone in the pub going, what a load of crap, turn it off. You've got to think about what's popular, Williams. So you've got to go for something like
Cater to the masses.
if you're catering to the masses, you want something.
Not your Now 45 album.
No, you're going to go for something like your ABBA greatest hits, your number ones by the Beatles, bit of Elvis, something classic Williams. Something where the old boys in the corner can be like, oh yes, or like a bit of Neil Diamond, a bit of Lionel Richie or something. If it was up to me, just like what's my favourite album to kind of get going, I'm probably going for Back in Black by AC/DC.
Oh yes.
I'm thinking.
Is that your pick or?
There's so many good albums you could pick.
It's a tough question, isn't it?
It is.
I went proper chat GGP4 with the Sit on the Fence.
You did.
Compilation.
You did. No, you gotta think there's. For our age group, it would be something like Hot Fuss by the Killers. The first Arctic Monkeys album was a classic.
Or a bit Kaiser Chiefs, maybe.
Oh no, not Kaiser Chiefs. They were fine, but they weren't like one album only kind of choice. Good pour, Williams. Good pour. You've got to think. But you've got to think about the masses, Williams. I think if I'm going to go for something that's still cool, but everyone likes, I'm going for the number one by the Beatles.
Number one by the Beatles.
You've got the bangers in there, but then you've got the like sing along end of the night band who's like, hey Jude, can you imagine a whole pub at 12:30 at night going la 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 la
La la la.
yeah.
La 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 la.
Hey Jude. Yeah, you can see that going down well.
Wild card drink. Any drink you want. They can start your bar.
Sambuca.
So obviously you done your bowls.
Shots of Sambuca.
Sambuca.
Just for when people get a bit silly, let's have the shots of Sambuca.
When the Hey Jude is going, we got Sambuca going, are we?
That's for me, yeah. Bit of Sambuca.
Oh, lovely. For me, I couldn't quite think. There was recently I went to Pipeline Brewing Company. It's basically a little warehouse, little microbrewery.
That sounds nice.
Down in St Agnes. We'll just do little micro batches. And I had a nice drop of, it's called Full Moon.
Very nice.
Again, a stout. It's like a vanilla type.
Vanilla
sort of
stout. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, 9.8%.
Oh, flip me. That bloody tops off.
But yeah, it's a lovely drop, so I just thought I'd chuck that in there. So the final thing, so at the Lamb Flag, sorry, not a final thing. Next, you need to bar something from your pub.
Mobile phones.
At the Lamb Flag, mobile phones, yeah, good choice. At the Lamb Flag, we ban hen parties. So no willy straws, no license plates,
yeah, you don't want to
inflatable men bouncing around. So we're banning hen parties. So you're banning mobile phones?
Well, you say hen parties though, but you're banning a certain type of hen party. You can't ban all hen parties, surely. Surely you just mean like the really tacky, horrible hen parties.
So the ones that involve willy straws, license plates.
Yeah, and strippers with willies that make you feel like, oh, I'm not a real man.
Yeah. No helicopter willies
or
anything like that in the Lamb Flag. You're banning
mobile phones.
Mobiles?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's
entirely. Are you having a strip search for they come in, or they got handed into the bar?
See,
or...
I just it's an oxymoron. I love having a phone. I love being able to ring you or FaceTime or send pictures. So I enjoy the mobile phone, but I don't like. All the shit that comes with it, the lack of just sitting there and I'm going to sit here and someone's gone to the bar. Okay, someone's gone to the bar and I need to look at my phone for the next 5 minutes while they're at the bar. Just sit there and people watch. Read the paper. I don't know. Eat a ball scratching. Scratch your. I don't know. Try and sneakily scratch your bum or whatever.
Well, on the pod that I listened to the episode. It was Joe Marler. I don't know if you know him. He's a rugby player. And at his pub, he had no mobile phones, but he had basically an old phone box actually in the pub, so people could use the phone box to call their taxis or just call someone if they needed to. Had a list of all the taxi numbers, etc., in the phone box, but that was your phone device. I hate the use of mobile phones when I hate the boredom. Like when people are like, oh, hang on, I need to think about a conversation here. It's not just really easy, and they get the phone out because like, obviously I'll just look at my phone for the next 5 minutes. It's rude, and I think it breeds an atmosphere of, if you're in a pub, right? What's the best thing about being in the pub? You're with your mates, you're with your missus, you're with your family, you're having food, you're having banter, you're watching a sporting event, so you're having a shared experience. Mobile phones just make people unable to just think on their feet and hold conversations, or unable to just enjoy the moment because they're like, I need to take a picture of something, and like, you really? Yeah, it's the concept things again. Like on the episode I listened to, the one of Joe Marler on it. But he was saying he wanted to ban mobile phones because he enjoys the BS of people. So rather than someone fact checking and checking actually on Google, just someone you're listening to someone, you can't check what they're saying is true. You just those sorts of conversations over a beer and just. You can imagine
it. He's exactly right. Oh mate, I was watching that new film with Liam Neeson in. He's really hard.
I was in that. Yeah,
I was in that. Or he got in a fight with Steven Seagal, didn't he? Did he? Yeah, him and Steven Seagal were trying to work out who's the toughest guy.
Whereas these days you get the phone out straight away and they'll check it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're having that conversation, really, with it, it just starts these amazing stories.
Steven Seagal killed 3 men once, but he didn't get convicted because it was in self-defense, and he's just so fucking hard. And Steven Seagal, really? I thought he was just a big fan. I went, no, legitimately hard. Steven Seagal could legitimately kill you with a tablespoon. He's done it, but he's been convicted. That's brilliant. I can't believe that. Excuse me. In fact, you'll find here that this is a vicious rumour created in to help promote the movie Under Siege. Ah, fuck off! You've ruined the illusion.
I lost my fish and chips to him once.
To Steven Seagal.
Seagull named Steven. No, Steven Seagal.
You know what else we should ban at the pub? Dad jokes. No dad jokes.
You can't. No
dad jokes.
No, it's got to be mobile phones. So, Miss Hodgkins, it comes to that point. I hope you've had a nice time at the Lamb and Flag.
Lovely time.
So, first of all, could you please explain what your pub looks like on the outside and inside?
100%.
But also, what is the name of your pub?
Okay, so my pub, it's a pub that only ever exists in sunshine. So this is the kind of pub that you go to in the afternoon, and it's mainly outside.
It's an outside area, is there?
Yeah, big outside area. It's a train station pub. So it's a pub in a village, and in this village you have it's near somewhere in Shropshire. It's like Bridge North. That kind of vibe. It's on the Severn Valley Railway, so every couple of hours a steam train is coming past, and proper old school.
Like old school Harry Potter type steam.
Oh
steam
yeah,
train.
yeah. We're talking like the Flying Scotsman, the Jacobite, those kind of trains. They're coming past, and everyone's looking at the train going past. There's a marquee outside with a bar. There's there's lots of it's white picket fence. Everybody's wearing shorts. The sun is blazing, but the beer garden has plenty of shade. There's tables so you can sit down and order some food. And the food is again, it's a good quality pub food. We're talking we're talking chicken.
Some chef style food or just
no, but like proper, it's still pub food, like little slider burgers,
pub food,
chicken goujons, bowl of cheesy chips.
Lovely,
and you can sit around and there's shade where the people need it.
Nice.
There's an outdoor bar today. It's not too hard to queue for a drink. But it's warm. We're talking like it's 22 degrees. The blokes are in kind of nice shorts, short sleeve shirts,
fashion shorts.
Absolutely fashion shorts. No sportswear allowed. Yeah. It's not a chavvy pub. No chavs allowed. But it's the kind of place where
you can't ban chavs as well. Chavs will be there. No phones, but chavs will be there.
No chav. Well, they won't want to come. They won't want to come to this pub. There's, it's the kind of place where, it's you're outside, so you've been drinking since 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it comes to 9 o'clock, and then the outdoor lights come on. It's all them bulbs and lovely outdoor bulbs. The barbecue's going in the corner, so everyone can smell something. There's a pizza oven. Everyone's getting the booze, and then there's somebody with a guitar playing a song. You're playing things out the fight, and they're playing all those kind of songs. They're playing things like Mr. Brightside by the Killers. They're playing Mardy Bum by Arctic Monkeys. They're dropping the odd classic, like a bit of Fleetwood Mac or something like I don't know.
Well, that's nice because inside the pub is the Beatles stuck on the jukebox, whereas they can go outside and have a nice little.
But inside you've got people who are a little bit, you got the moms, the dads, the grandparents. They were like they want to enjoy it, but they're like, outdoors the young one. But inside they can have inside they can get a pork pie, a cheese and pickle sandwich. The woman who's working in the bar is 60 and she's been there forever, and everyone knows her, and she's everyone's best mate, and she'll do anything to make you feel welcome. And it's the same train that comes past. The cleaner is the same cleaner. It's a clean pub, but inside there is that there's that heritage. There's that it's a train station pub. So there are pictures of the old trains. There are pictures of the people who building the rails, and it's the village that was built on the train station. This village used to be important, and still is to the people who live there. So,
and what is the name? What is the name of this?
So it sounds very much like anyone who knows me. So I come from a village called Codsall, and there was a pub there called the Station. Now the Station wasn't actually my favourite pub in Codsall. My favourite pub in Codsall was the Wheel Pub. Followed the Wheel Pub. That's where we first started to do our drinking at the Banks.
As opposed to the fake one.
No, not the Wheel. As in, it was on the edge of the Wheel Estate, and it was the pub where we started drinking. It was £1.27 a pint of Banks's, but then they closed it down, knocked it down and built houses on it.
£1.27.
Yes. And again,
It's ridiculous.
it
isn't
was
it?
ridiculous. It was a good.
But then saying that at university on a Sunday, we had a pound a drink.
Pint,
So,
yeah. But then they're not that down, so we started to go to the Bentlands. So that has a place in my heart as probably my favourite ever pub as well.
Yeah.
The station is the kind of pub I'm describing, but it wasn't necessarily my favourite pub. But that's because they didn't necessarily have the big outdoor area. They had a little outdoor area. I'm talking about like a proper big. There's one. I tell you the one we used to go to in Weybridge on the Weybridge pub crawls down by Morgs's. You get off the train station, it's there.
Red.
No, not Red. The first one. It was the first one of the day.
What about the Red Station? That's good.
The Red Station, yeah. I'd call it. I don't know. I'd call my pub. I'd call it a little bit of history. That's what I'd call it.
A little bit of history.
A little bit of history pub, yeah. A little bit of history pub. And everyone just know it as the little bit. You go down the little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. But its full name is a little bit of history pub because it's at the station, and the station is all these lovely steam trains going past.
Yeah, so you can now take away your pub, the little bit, or the little bit of history pub to those that want to full name it, and it can come to when in your hour of need, Misogynists. The little bit will appear for you, and it will sell Winter's Lion's Ale and Banks's Ale on tap. You can pick up a bottle of Ruby Port and order 20 bottles of Blue WKD to go with it.
9 o'clock at night when the party's going, 100%.
But then, if the night's still going, and for the non-bottle drinkers or ale drinkers, you've got a nice gin and tonics, a nice a Bombay Sapphire gin and Schweppes tonic,
Lovely.
with an ice and a slice, or you can have a nice little cocktail, a Parma violets.
Oh, that's such a good
cocktail. And also you've got the option of some Sambuca.
Of course you have, because
if you want to sing along to Hey Jude for the end of the night, having your shots of Sambuca. But
you see the man on the guitar, he drops in a few old school kind of like those kind of like, take me to the bar for a Sambuca, a bit of DJ Look and MC Neat, bit of Artful Dodger, drops a few of those in just on the guitar, cracking up.
This is outside. This is outside.
This is the outside area. Post 9 o'clock, the light bulbs have come on. It's still warm enough. There's a few heaters if people need them, but they don't need them because it's a beautiful sunny day. There's no bugs.
Lovely.
Cracking.
Well, I hope to go to a little bit in the future. So
I'm in a daydream here. I love the idea of that pub. That sounds brilliant.
I hope you enjoyed your visit to the Lamb and Flag.
Understand it doesn't really exist.
And take away your little bit. But that was the first look at the moon underwater. A little shout out to a podcast that we've just literally ripped off their format for a little bit. And
well, it must be a good podcast. I am going to sign up to that podcast because I enjoyed that. Again, it's possibly a very selfish thing. I don't know if the listeners of our podcast would be, but hopefully it's got them thinking about what they would do. Stimulate some conversation.
Yeah.
If you were,
write into firstnames@outlook.com. Let us know your dream pub.
The joys of a pub. It's a social place. It should be a social and happy place.
It is.
So some of our best times have been in a pub. Just not thinking about.
And I don't think you
responsibilities.
realise until you go away somewhere as well how good a pub is. Like even in Canada, you get your pubs, you got your Irish pubs and things, but they're not a British pub, are they? They're not.
Oh no,
I don't know.
No, they're not the same. They're not the same.
You can't really explain it, but
English to me, English village pubs are one of the best things about living in a village. And it's not just the pub; it's the community spirit of the pub. When you start to. So again, when I worked in my mate's shop for a bit, worked in pubs, and it's just a sense of like. You work in that place, you see all the same people all the time. You start getting to know them, you start to get to know their stories, you start to feel like, oh, this guy's really good, or that guy's a bit of a knob, or whatever it is. And it's a social place, and it's wonderful. It's just, I love a pub. Love a pub.
We love a pub.
Yeah.
We love a pub. So that was the little bit of history pub and the Lamb and Flag.
Very nice.
Two nice pubs. Have you got a final little?
I can do one little last look. Now, this is where we may lose some listeners. So if you look at the statistics, we may lose some listeners. But and I'm gonna tell you something shocking, Williams. Shocking.
Oh.
And the listeners will be shocked by this too. I'm a geek, Williams. You know, you never guess. So what have we talked about recently? VR. At the start of this podcast, we've talked about VR. We have talked about my career, which is, you know, working in graphic design and creative design, and I've talked. I
don't know why people think we're geeks. You know, we just talked about booze, VR, computer games previously, Chat GTP, artificial intelligence,
and terrible dad jokes,
fucks and barmaids, and dad jokes.
Moaned about mobile phones.
I moaned about mobile
phones.
So
we're not only geeks, we're old geeks at that. Yeah. And, so I'm going to take it down to a whole new level now. So goodbye, listeners. Thank you for listening. But
thank you for making it to episode 9.
So now it's a very popular TV series, but it's I think it's quite divisive. So Amazon Prime brought back a legendary character of Jean-Luc Picard, played by Patrick Stewart. You may know, you may know him better as Charles Xavier, or in his Star Trek role, he's known as Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Starship Enterprise.
Captain, this is Scotty. Incoming communication from Starfleet.
So they made 3 series of this Picard. And I was.
I'm not a Trekkie, but it looked quite good actually.
Well, this is it. You see, they've just finished, so it's finished. So this is a first look at what they called the very last episode of the 3rd series is called The Last Generation. Now, for anybody who hasn't watched this yet, I am going to talk about it. So, for spoiler warning, we're going to talk about the series of Picard and where it came from and what I thought about it. So,
hang on, Craig. I'm just checking our listener volumes, and it's dropping off the cliff.
Well, that's okay. I can talk to you about it, and hopefully you enjoy it. But it's one of these things. It's so rooted. Star Trek is rooted in pop culture so deeply, and you know, it was funny the other day. Braden, my son, came in, and there's a character who was a Klingon, and he said, who's he? I said, he's a Klingon. And I said, do you want to hear me speak Klingon? And my brother, yeah. And I just made some random noises. And my son was like, was that real Klingon, Daddy? I was like, yeah. He said, what did he say? I said, you've been a good boy today, Braden. So I was like...
Well, there's an actual Klingon language,
well, this is it. This is where I was going with this point. It's like, I was taking the mickey, but it's so deeply rooted in culture that there are things like people have created the Klingon language. So this show, so Star Trek: The Next Generation was a show that was it started in the late 80s, carried on through to the early 90s, was finished by the mid 90s, and then they did some films. The last film was in 2002, so it's been finished for a long time. So 20 years after the last outing of this crew of this starship, they brought back the main character, who was the captain of the ship, called Jean-Luc Picard, played by Patrick Stewart. This came back to a lot of fanfare because a lot of people would be like, oh, yes, he's brilliant. What a great character. And they brought him back. Now, the first series of this Picard was just shit. The second series was even worse. Really not very good.
They still kept making them.
So they signed on to do 3 series. And even though it was terrible, obviously because it's such a big franchise, people still watched it, which means, you know, points win prizes. People watched it, we'll make another one. By the time it got to this 3rd series, which is just finished, they realised they were trying to be too clever. They were trying to build this story around this man and not bring back any of the nostalgia. That is exactly what people wanted. So,
which is why,
So this 3rd series, they've gone full nostalgia. And what they've effectively done is bring back everybody who everyone loved from the 1980s and 90s, put them all on a TV show together, and made a really, you know, terrible yet utterly brilliant show.
Yeah, everyone has nostalgia, don't they?
I loved it. I loved this 3rd season. It was they offered so much fan service. And it was exactly what I wanted. Was it fantastic writing and deep, meaningful stuff? No. it was characters I already loved doing the things that I loved them for. So it left me very happy because the first two series, I was quite excited for the series. I was like, these are characters I enjoyed as a kid. I've enjoyed them growing up. You know, it's one of those things. I used to watch it as a kid, and then I watched it again when I was an adult and realised just how filthy it was. So there's this one character called Raker, and he's like the number 2 in command. And you think, oh, Riker's a good guy. And then you watch it as an adult, he's just a shagging machine. He's just shagging aliens all the time. It's like, hey, you've got green skin. I've not had somebody with green skin before. I'm going to shag you. Then he moves on. It's like the next episode. Hey, you've got purple skin and weird scales on your head. Let's shag.
He's the number 1 subscriber to Wooty Erotica.
He would be. But, you know, he just shags everything. So it's funny. As a kid, I was just like, oh, yay, superheroes. These are good guys. And as an adult, I'm like, you're a dirty bastard. But it's just funny how you just miss things as a kid, don't you? You miss all the double meanings.
I've just found a English to Klingon translator.
Oh yes.
And would you like to know first look gnomes in Klingon?
I can guess it's probably something along the lines of
That's pretty good, actually. It's I won't be able to do that accent as well as you, but it's Yashkalimech Po.
That was pretty close. Yeah, pretty close.
So for our first look gnomes Klingon listeners,
welcome. So the series is finished, and I just brought up, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but the third series was they just effectively what
lots
they
of
did.
Old characters come back.
Yeah, so all the characters that are built up over series 1 and 2, they effectively just went and disappeared. They didn't come back, and like, oh, okay, and they just started again. And they just gave the fans what they wanted, and I loved them for it. I was like, that's brilliant. I don't care about all these other characters you're trying to build. They weren't very good. Get rid of them.
No, so obviously they're not 3 seasons. They're not going to get a 4th.
Yeah, that's it. So
give the fans what they want.
So that was the first look at the end of the Star Trek Next Generation crew.
Yeah.
They left it so there's other avenues they can do. But I mean, Patrick Stewart's about 82, 83 now.
He must be getting
He
on
did
now.
really well, to be fair to him. Like, you know, he's obviously kept himself in good shape, good health. It was very cool. I'm just going on a tangent here. We recently rewatched the series Extras with the Ricky Gervais one.
Yes, classic.
And Patrick Stewart is in one of the episodes, and he's right.
Is he?
Yeah. So in his episode, he's sitting there, and Ricky Gervais goes and says, "Look, I need some help. I'm an extra. I want to get aligned and stuff. I've written this series." And Patrick Stewart's character is like, "Oh, I'm a writer too. I've written this play." And he's basically written the play because he wants to try and see women naked. So he's like, oh, in this play, you know, we're there, and then all of a sudden their clothes drop off, and you know, I can see her, and she's totally naked. And Ricky's like, okay, so what's the character development? Oh, there's no character development. And then he meets somebody else, and her clothes drop off, and she's naked. So Ricky's like, so is this film basically just so you can see women naked? He's like, oh yes. And I thought, how much did they pay that man to do that?
Yeah.
But watching it, you know, 20 years later after it came on, some of the things that are in that show you could not say now.
No.
Like, I'm surprised it hasn't been cancelled. Because, and I know it's kind of...
Watch it whilst you can, listeners. What's our cliffhanger? We broke format last episode. We do apologise, listeners. We didn't have a cliffhanger.
Well, the cliffhanger is, have we been cancelled? Because we talked about a programme that could have been cancelled, and we happened to mention things that some people... Sometimes you can't even say the word homosexual without somebody thinking, cancel.
Which the listeners might be listening to thinking, what on earth are they talking about? Because I deleted it from the podcast anyway.
What was it? Cliffhanger. What is that cliffhanger?
But tune in next week. So actually...
We won't be doing for a few weeks, will we?
We won't. So I don't know if it's going to be a season break or not. But we're both going on holiday. So Mr. Hodgkiss is off to the United States of America.
Don't say that word. Don't come rob me out.
Sorry. You'll be back for the episode. the nice sunny Disneyland, and I'm going to Devon. So
Well, that was about.
we'll compare notes when we're both back.
So the next episode will be a holiday special where we talk about holidays.
A holiday special, yes. Yes.
So the cliffhanger
that's
is:
not the nice.
was it terrible? Is Devon better than Cornwall? Did Mickey Mouse?
But write in. Let us know about your favourite pub,
Yes, please do.
or anything pub related. We like pubs. If you've not been to a pub before, and you've had the first look at a pub, then please write in. We'd like to hear about it.
Well, there's 17 countries in the world listening to us. Pub culture in different countries. We'd like to hear about it.
So yeah, please get in contact if you're one of the other 233 pubs.
No, that is
countries.
assuming there are 250 countries.
Oh.
I would Google it, but last time I tried to do that, my computer broke. So
I like our podcast when we get to the final sort of 5 minutes of the show because
well, this time we're a little bit tipsy.
we're just going blah blah blah.
Yeah. Well, on that note,
Something about cliffhangers. Something about names.
don't worry, man. No one's listened for the last 20 minutes anyway because I started talking about Star Trek. So don't worry.
No, that's true. Yeah, if you are still listening, thank you very much. Leave us a 5-star review.
Space.
And tune in.
The final
tune in next
frontier.
time.
These were the voyages of the Starship Enterprise.
I can't remember the theme tune now.
No, that's the original. No, that's the original Star Trek.
Oh.
The next generation is. Steven Seagal could legitimately kill you with a tablespoon.